And after hearing about these bloodthirsty attacks by Hamas, Congresswoman Tlaib initially issued a statement placing part of the blame on Israel, repeatedly calling Israel an apartheid government, and even placed some of the blame on our country's aid to them. She's entitled to her opinions and may espouse them freely, regardless of how grotesque they may be, but she's not fit to serve. She's not fit to represent the people of Michigan in Congress, and she should resign.
When we have a minority leader who's attempting to take out the voice of a community across the state of Michigan, it is reprehensible. I strongly condemn him and his actions and words. And just know that when we are talking about lifting up the voices of people who are left out of this conflict, we are talking about the 10,000 Gazans who have been brutally murdered by bombs from the Israeli government, who have never been part of this conversation from the other side. Thank you, Mr. President. I rise today to add my voice to this conversation because I echo all of the comments from my colleague from the 3rd District, who has been a passionate defender of the voiceless. We're talking about hundreds of thousands of Arab Americans and Muslims in Michigan alone who hear you when you get up to the podium and try to silence the only Arab American member of Congress who represents our great state. They are listening. They hear your hatred and your Islamophobia at the microphone here in the Michigan Senate. That is unbelievably disturbing. It is shameful. And we have a duty and honor, like my colleague from Royal Oak said, to try to do our best to bring our communities together, to try to find solutions that we can represent for the people of Michigan. Adding to the divisiveness does nothing to advance the cause of the people of Michigan. It does nothing to advance the cause of peace. It has been a struggle for me and for so many to see the horrors take place overseas. But to bring all of those challenges and divisive conversations back here to this chamber does not advance our ability to get things done for our residents and to provide healing spaces for all people who are impacted by this. It has been a personal struggle for me, coming from a family who had experienced bombings in Malta from the Nazis, where my grandparents had to hide in bomb shelters as teenagers, who survived World War II during a regime that was seeking to exterminate the Maltese people because of their resilience. I know what that's like. I know what it's like for my Palestinian fiance, whose family had to leave Palestine and find their way to other lands because they were no longer welcome in their home. This is not easy for people who have had to deal with generational trauma from other people who have laid claim to their land. Just know that for so many people across Michigan, we know that this is painful. It is a difficult and terrible experience that we have to, and reliving the trauma here in the Michigan Senate is really an unbelievable position for someone like me and someone like a lot of my colleagues have to go through. I just urge everyone in this space to please have some humanity, please have some dignity, please lift up the voices of those who really feel left behind by those on the other side of the aisle, and help us forge a path towards peace and unity and honestly, just a place where we can all represent our voices in the place where people elected us, just like the Congresswoman from Detroit. Thank you, Mr. President, and I yield my time. Thanks.